guys, Intercourts here, and today I just made just a little, about 5 minutes or so, I just made a little simple snowball mechanic it's really simple, and it's an ammunition for snowballs or for a mini game, whatever you want to use it for. So if you say get snowball ammo and I press it, see it shows only one snowball ammo in my inventory, but on the right it says snowball ammo, it's 10 for me. But then once I start throwing snowballs, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to 0 until now it's gone from my inventory since I have 0 snowballs. So press that again and then just throw this. And so if you're thinking about this, then you're wondering, well, why don't you just give the person 10 snowballs and then they can just throw the snowballs and then they'll be done. Well, this allows you, if I keep pressing the button, originally you would just start out with this if you ever were going to use this in a minigame, but for these purposes, I could go up to 80 or 90 or even 100 snowballs, and it still just shows one snowball in my inventory, and I have 100 snowballs, and then it just starts counting down from there. And so it's a pretty cool system, and so it's actually really simple. It only uses 3 command blocks, excluding the clock. And this little command block just gives me a scoreboard of just increasing that. But I'll show you what happens. So, okay, let me just run out of these snowballs. And so if I go into creative mode, mode 1, and so actually this is using 2 scoreboards. This is using 2 scoreboards actually. One is the snowball ammo, and one is just called Snowball. You don't see. And that snowball scoreboard, which I created first, is this. So scoreboard. Objectives, add, then I created one called Snowball, and then the criteria type was stat.useItem.minecraft.snowball. So I created that, but I'm not actually going to create it right now because it's already created, but I already did that. And so I have this command block right here. Well, actually, I created another command. I created another scoreboard, which is snowball ammo, and this one is just a dummy scoreboard. So I mean, you could always look up on the wiki to figure out how to use that, figure out how to create a scoreboard like that. But it's just a simple dummy scoreboard. Again, if you don't know what that means, you can just look it up on Minecraft wiki. But yeah, so it's just a simple dummy scoreboard. And so, which basically means that it doesn't have to do, it can only be affected with command blocks. It's not anything with just moving around or how many steps you take or if you slay a certain mob. It can only be affected with command blocks. Only can be affected by command blocks. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so over here, this is the first command block. And again, this is just a super fast fill clock. It's just redstone block and stone. And then over here, it's a scoreboard command. So scoreboard players remove, and then at A. So basically, for everyone who has a snowball score, which is minimum 1, then change their snowball ammo score to, because it says remove right here. So remove it by 1. So basically, whenever I use a snowball, it's going to remove that score by 1. And then I have 1 right here, which all it does is it replaces it's a replace item command, and it replaces the item of an entity, and that entity is any player who has a score of snowball ammo of minimum 1, and it replaces the item in their slot of their hotbar, that slot 0, which is the first slot here, and it replaces that with 1 snowball. And so what it's doing is as long as I have 1 ammo in there, it's constantly replacing it with a snowball. And then this last command block just sets everyone's snowball score to 0. So it's basically, if I use the snowball, then it's going to register in these command blocks, but then it's going to turn it back to 0. And that stops it from me having a couple snowballs, from me having 4 or 5 or 6. Every time I use a snowball, it would increment 1 up, since it's stat.useItem.minecraft.snowball. Every time I use a snowball, it's going to increment 1 up. So if I don't have this command block, then that's just going to stay a positive number, and then this command block that's going to constantly remove it will just always remove it, and then I'll just run out of it really fast. And then if you want to see what this command block is in here, it's just scoreboard players add at P snowball ammo 10. So yeah, it's just adding 10 to the score, and the reason I did it in survival mode is you can see it in creative, and again, you can see it in creative, but again, see, it's never removed from my inventory, so I end up going into the negatives of the number, so it's actually pretty, it's pretty crazy. So here, if I just press this button a couple times. It's not normally supposed to happen, but it's meant to be like in survival. It's meant to be in survival mode. So if I go back into survival mode, game mode 0, throw this here, then yeah, it's used up. So it's a pretty cool system. It's especially made for if you wanted to have a mini game where you had a certain amount of ammo, but it was like maybe 100 or 1,000 snowballs of ammo, and you couldn't just give the player 1,000 snowballs because that might fill up their entire inventory and still have some snowballs left over. So yeah, it's just a pretty simple, cool system. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys later, and bye.